There was a planter who planted these seeds of a kind in the grasslands, jungles, and the mountains benign. Every seed that she planted was labeled as divine because the fruits of her labor could stand the test of time.
Blown away, bro. People are reckless, but you have to innately know that people wanted to do that shit all along. They just had the opportunity to fucking do it now, you know? Which is, bro. You remember the Kmart on Lake?
Yeah.
They're finally destroying it now after all that fucking shit.
They're renovating it.
Yeah, bro. But you know what I thought too, bro?
What?
Like, the first few weeks, you know, Target got looted or whatever, but
Yeah.
and since then, cops, every Target they were posted up. Just imagine having like a fire on every block. Like, that's multiple sirens all over the place. The cops literally had to block off the street, the whole entire street. Those are just too many fires. Like, if you literally look on like the whole entire like street, there's literally like 5 or 6 fires, bro. And these are like commercial buildings. It's not just a house, bro. They burned the auto zone too, bro. They burned everything.
Yeah.
It literally, I think maybe the first 2 weeks was just protesting, and then it just blew up after that.
So they did it to themselves, you know what I mean? Like,
but even the protests were fucking crazy too, bro. Not like burning and all that shit, but like just cops and protesters and shit, arrests and all that. I feel like just shit just went. You know what the kind of blows my mind, bro? They didn't stop even after National Guard came in, bro. It was multiple weeks,
You don't have
bro.
a stop sign.
They told me to go. It was multiple weeks, bro. What do you think? What do you think about the whole scenario?
I don't think I have to explain to y'all what happened in 2020, like as a city, but in our neighborhood specifically. I mean, it was chaos. It was chaos. But it was also one of the most inspiring times I think I've ever seen in the terms of our city.
Every joy, every laugh, every sorrow, every pain, with hopes that it will be greater than the planter woman who remained. As her hands grew old and her feet grew weary, as her arms grew tired and her eyes grew dreary, the planter woman held steady so that her seed could grow strong and so that one day it would be the greatest when it finally stood on its own.
And unfortunately, it had to happen at, you know, at the death of George Floyd. But again, sometimes to get on your feet, you have to get on your knees. And so the world, when everything went, you know, they had to stop and slow down and get on their knees. Everybody took a knee. Everybody. They took a knee, you know, not just for George, but for the soil, for the people, you know?
So I wasn't living over there at the time, but I grew up on like 45th and he got killed on 38th, you know? So like Southside, that's my hood right there. And it had a really profound impact on me. Obviously, all the police response, the brutality. I mean, I saw things in that I'm not ever gonna forget. But I think the thing that really affected me and got me into this work was seeing the aftermath of, like, you know, Target, Aldi, and Cub all got burned down within a low-income neighborhood. And if the stores burn down, people don't eat. So seeing that firsthand and the need around that, especially in the like BIPOC immigrant community, really just made me want to build up that community resilience. Like, you know, we don't have to freak out because we got fields of food here. We got maybe even chickens or something, you know?
I grew up in the 60s when, the Panthers and everybody was talking about the people, it's about the people, and I embrace that. And so I think it is carrying this message to the people and letting the people kind of embrace it and start and relying more on ourselves.
I felt really shy at first about being out here and again with the class and race stuff, like presenting as a white woman and as a bougie white woman and gardening while all of this was going on. And a lot of people who came by complimented the garden, and I was able to give people things out of the garden, give flowers to kids, give people peas and tomatoes or whatever they would accept. And that actually made me feel like I had a role in a difficult situation where like we weren't supposed to really be interacting up close, and we had a pandemic going on and there's police violence and an uprising going on in the backyard, and gardening is small, but it's what I was doing, and it got me talking to people. So
what we wanted was for this place to be something where everybody within the community could indeed harvest, whether or not they worked the land. We would prefer that they worked the land, but if they didn't, no big deal. That was a concept that I learned when I was in West Africa, in Ghana, that people could actually go to a farmer's land and pick some food to eat, whether or not they had done any work in farmers' land at all. So it means that. It means community, and it means sharing. Right. Nobody owns any one particular part. This is my plot. None of that.
Yeah, the pepper's good. I ate a whole bunch. Just ate it plain. Yeah. And the tomatoes, I just ate them plain, but then I cooked some for my birthday. I took it out there to my mom with some smelts and some we had some smelts, some sweet potato. I made some sweet potato and green tomatoes. That woman ate. I can't believe she ate. She said, food here don't do that good. Oh, now. Yeah. Yeah. And I took it because I took the dirt off.
Through the thorns of great treachery and the thickets of twisted thoughts, through the weeds of wrongdoing in a world of wicked heart, she cared for that seed without much to give but the love that she had within. And she watched that seed bud and grow like the arms of the great Guan Yin. With time, that seed, it grew and grew to a tree of truth and might. Its trunk, it sunk so deep in the earth till it reached the core's delight. The young tree, it reached the city, the streets, and the towns across the blades. And it spread the seeds that it received from the Planter Woman's Love Brigade.
Chase for money, capitalism, those have always been values that I have shied away from, not really taken much heart, kind of living, led by the spirit. And so, I see myself as a, kind of a modern day griot, a storyteller, and as a poet, an orator and someone who really values the inner spirit. And to me, the garden, there's no better place to nurture the inner soul than in nature and in gardening.
And what I found out was that I loved being out in the garden. That they would come and get me sometime. Where you been? But it was quiet, it just kind of, take you away,
What I guess what are you gonna miss about this area when you move?
The bees.
Yeah.
I wonder if I can show you. So these are Mexican marigolds that we put in. Hey, good morning. I wasn't sure if they were gonna make it because the seedlings were kind of weak, but they're really happy. That's the variety that they that folks prefer to use on altars.
Oh, yeah.
So I like to put it by the door so people know they can just come and grab it. And the more you pick, the more it makes. So it's a good thing to share. And like the quiet of this space, despite the busyness of the surrounding roads, the quiet of this space is something special. Oh. And everything. I don't know, it feels like you step into like a very private little world that people can like look into and come into if they want to, but something about the plants makes it feel very, very private and very personal.
So it's what community gardening does. Not necessarily for people, but with people.
From the earth beneath to the heavens above, the young tree would connect it all. And no matter what trials and tribulations it faced, it promised to always stand tall.
I feel like that's what's really hard for community organizers, always having to be displaced. Like, it's constantly having to figure out a place to meet, figure out a place to like build relationships, figure out a place to do the work that you're here to do, and you're constantly being moved around. That's a problem because it's like so much work goes into setting up the soil, time, money, like all that, resources, right? So to have to do that year after year in a new place is really like not helpful, not sustainable, and also very demoralizing.
And it's not just us too, right? Like our renters are anyone who has lived in the central neighborhood or beyond has experienced some level of displacement. We know that most of our families within Plank Rocher who've come through our food growing program, they've moved, every year for the last 5 years. And they've moved their gardens with them because that's how they grow food. That is work. That is weight, that's work, that's labor, and we deserve better.
You're on today. Praise him, Shy Daddy. We live in that club. Shout out to Father God.
I came here unhoused, found this space, and I didn't feel safe outside, and coming here was like so peaceful a couple years back. And when I was finally able to, get on my feet, I volunteered to help with social media. So I'm glad to be here in different capacities.
Somebody. Hello.
Hey.
If you can tell already, it's dark, it's rich, it's happy. So much love has been poured into it, and so much love has been poured out of it. I think from this site alone, we've probably harvested close to 11,000 pounds of food and shared it with the community. That's incredible. That's incredible. In this space, we've learned how to grieve properly with Monkway, learned how to unburden ourselves, and how to let the earth hold us. In this space, we've learned from folks like Mo and Charles and many other faces in this room. Room? Garden? Space? Circle? Yeah.
I don't know if either of us would have survived it without the support of each other, like just being present in the garden together, in the garden of our lives even, just like, what are we trying to sow in a time where it feels impossible to move forward or move through, like the people who show up randomly and unexpectedly and unknowingly, right? Like I didn't know them at all. But it just became this piece of peace. when you're able to like choose the people that you want to grow with, it's a whole other empowering thing that makes it possible to like, oh, I could trust somebody again. To like, I can trust that they're gonna show up for me, that I'm gonna show up for them. And it's kind of like that in the garden too. Like when you plant a plant, you can't just, most of the time you can't just leave it and expect it to grow on its own. Like when you plant those seeds, you're looking out for them, and in turn they look out for you, you know?
Please take some seeds, even if you're not sure that you will grow them, bring them to someone else. Let Hosmer grow elsewhere.
Like essentially, bro. But don't ever get it twisted. There's a lot more good people than bad people, but like essentially bad people are just louder or more vocal or whatever, you know? Because I think that's the thing people mistake it too. It's like, you know, everybody thinks everybody's bad, but not. In reality, it's not, bro. I learned that.
With the last of her strength, she walked her way to the tree's everlasting shade. She leaned back her head and reminisced on all the change the young tree had made. With a soft grin and a final breath, she finally closed her eyes. For her final seed had bore good fruit and changed a million lives.